Our human life force is so precious, it's so valuable. And what we direct our attention to actually grows. And the egregores, the pendulums, the political movements, companies, sports teams, brands, whatever it is, they know this. So whether you hate them or whether you love them, it's working in their favor. They just don't want you to be like completely oblivious to them. That is how they have no hold over you. You know, people feel tired on their commutes because they're walking past these advertisements that are trying to hook into them energetically nonstop. And they're not even providing any form of beauty, entertainment, or comfort in return. When's the last time you saw an advertisement that genuinely made you go like, wow, that's beautiful? How can we recognize when our energy is being harvested? And when we do, what can we do about it? Hi, welcome back. This is Wan Lin, La Princesse des Beaux-Arts, and on this channel, I share with you my spiritual insights as a young artist to help you optimize and harmonize your energy. So, what I've noticed in our current day and age is that so much of the unhappiness and lack of health and sovereignty we experience as human beings comes from the fact we're not even aware of when, where, and why our energy is being taken away from us with nothing in return. And this leads to us feeling drained and powerless, and we don't want that. So how do you recognize this? I'm listening to a book called Reality Transurfing by Maxime Zealand about how you can optimize to the highest timelines of your life. And one concept he shares echoes a lot of what I've noticed since my spiritual awakening, which is the concept of pendulums. Some people call them egregores. So what are pendulums? Pendulums are movements of energy in our day-to-day life that accumulate more momentum, accumulate more energy from the people that invest their time, attention, money, and energy into them. So pendulums can take form in the shape of companies, businesses, ideological movements, institutions, corporations, clubs, even like areas of affiliation. Any sort of affiliation can be a pendulum. And the issue arises when we give our life force away to these pendulums. See the siren? The sirens are going off nonstop in the background, which shows me this is a pretty dire issue that I need to share with you guys. So what happens with these, oh my God, so many fire trucks. Okay. What happens with these pendulums is their main intention is to gather more energy, more followers, more people giving them their energy, time, attention, money, and resources so they can grow bigger and bigger. Now, the solution, let me start off right here. The solution is not a cabin in the woods, okay? To be alive, to be a human being alive on this earth means you give out energy and you receive energy. And what I'm teaching you here is not to like abandon humanity and civilization. No, what I'm teaching you here is how you can recognize and optimize this energy so it works for you. Because there are negative or detrimental egregores for you personally, and then there are beneficial ones, let's say like gardens, parks, eco-friendly businesses, or sustainability. All these different things, I'm going to teach you right now how to recognize what works for you specifically. So how do these egregores work? How do you recognize them? Because that's the first step to freeing yourself from being drained by them. So egregores get their hooks into you, whether you're a supporter or an opponent of their ideology or what they're set out on earth to do. So let's say it's a business that, or a political movement that you don't like, or you're adamantly opposing and like spending a lot of energy hating, and then like, do you know how drained you feel when you experience resentment, hatred, loathing, and like, why does this even exist in this world? It's so unfair, it's so violent, it's so horrible. Listen, that's how news outlets get to you. That's how political movements get to you. And the solution isn't, as I said before, to isolate from society. And it's also not to like fight tooth and nail against it. It's to embody the solution, like embody what you want in this world, be that, instead of fighting against what you don't like. Because the way reality works, the way it unfolds, is that our human life force is so precious, it's so valuable. And what we direct our attention to actually grows. And the egregores, the pendulums, the political movements, companies, sports teams, brands, whatever it is, they know this. So whether you hate them or whether you love them, it's working in their favor. They just don't want you to be like completely oblivious to them. That is how they have no hold over you. So some great signs to recognize when your energy is being harvested or there's like a hook in you is to notice your emotional investment and how provoked you feel by certain images or happenings. Because one of the easiest ways for a pendulum to get to you, have access to your energy, is through emotional investment. This is why on a smaller level, if there are people who are bullies or who are just really unkind, a lot of the times, even if some people, they date their bullies, which is pretty sad, but whether you love them or hate them, they actually feed off of that energy. And if there is a ideological movement or new influencer popping up on the internet, whether you love or hate them, even if you leave a bunch of comments that are either supportive or negative, you're feeding them your energy and you're helping them grow. It's just like you can be fertilized by shit or sunshine and rain, right? It's gonna help them grow. What the pendulum does not want is for you to not care at all, to be totally apathetic. And then they have no channel, no access to your energy. So why is it that people feel so drained in urban areas or modern life? I'll give you one example. Why is it that commutes feel so exhausting? And there are scientific studies on how your lifespan and health can actually have major detrimental effects the longer your commute is. One thing I've noticed in the London tube station and in the Paris metro, wherever you are in a big city, there are advertisements everywhere. And one thing I will tell you about advertisements is they exist to harvest your attention. An advertisement that cannot get a person's attention is an advertisement that failed its purpose to exist. Does that make sense? Now, in the past, a lot of companies would hire artists to make the most beautiful and seductive, compelling advertisements to advertise their product, their show, whatever they're selling. A great example of this is Alphonse Mucha's Art Nouveau posters for operas they were so beautiful that people would actually steal them from the theater. That became a major issue, which helped it go viral. And nowadays, what do you have? I go into the tube station and I see advertisements for fast fashion, alcohol, fast food, vacations, saying escape to this island. What does the word escape even imply? That you're living in a cage? Really? Really? Like, they're putting it in front of your face. And then other advertisements, over-sexualizing women, but then saying like female empowerment. Listen, any ideology, good or bad, whatever you call it. Now, I don't even like prescribe to that duality much anymore, but any ideology, movement, business, entity, whether you think of them as good or bad, it's in their interest to grow. And a big issue of like why these advertisements today feel so obnoxious, people feel tired on their commutes because they're walking past these advertisements that are trying to hook into them energetically nonstop. And they're not even providing any form of beauty, entertainment, or comfort in return. When's the last time you saw an advertisement that genuinely made you go like, wow, that's beautiful? I will give you one example. There's a dating app in French called Adopte un mec, which means adopt a guy or adopt a dude. Isn't that funny? And their advertisements in the Paris metro were some of the most beautiful advertisements I ever saw. They were totally made for the female gaze. They were like these enchanting, colorful, mystical, fairy tale-like images of a couple set to like a fairy tale. And then it was just their logo, just simply their tiny logo of a guy falling into a shopping cart. And the word adopt. They didn't even put their full name for the ad. They just wrote adopt. Oh my God, that was like, there's one moment in my memory from this past 25 years of life, generally in my whatever, where I remember an advertisement that actually made me go, wow, that gave me energy. That made my day better. That was beautiful. Thank you. All of the other advertisements, a lot of them are uninspiring, or they feed off of your triggers. So another great way to recognize when your energy is being harvested through a vampiric pendulum or structure is when they're trying to provoke you. So let's say I saw an ad in the tube station that goes, one tiny little mistake, one tiny little 100,000 pound mistake. And it was an advertisement for a bookkeeping service, like an accounting platform or whatever. That is an ad that hooks onto you through fear. And others would be like, place that hook on you through desire, through a need for validation. That's what luxury brands do. Hey, you want to show the world that you're worthy, that you've made it? Let us put our logo on you, and then you'll feel proud of yourself. That's the wrong way to go about shopping. That is giving your power away, and they know it. So a great sign to recognize these hooks, these energetic hooks that are trying to go into you day to day, is to really like not be offended. You know, the first step, a lot of the most, I think, powerful beings I've noticed in my life, you could not offend them if you tried, because you're just not that important to them. They have better things to care about. And that is my attitude to life. Well, I try my best to do that anyways, to embody that. And I think that's a great option for you to consider. Anything that offends you, anything that really makes you feel extremely good or extremely bad, like for example, another example of a vampiric egregore, like sports teams, the way I see people behave when their team won or lost. Listen, I was walking down the Champs-Élysées in Paris when I was like a young art student, the day of France's second World Cup victory. And you know what I experienced? People throwing beer like straight up into the air, and it lands wherever, on whoever. They don't even care. Like one guy walked up to me and yelled, "Hey, I want to fuck tonight. How much?" People act like this, giving out their energy to the egregore of their sports team, this sport, or whatever. They give away their power and make excuses for their behavior, and they feel energized in this moment. But it's a short-term energy because they're giving out more than they receive. I mean, like, if you're really into a game, really into a sports team, for example, or you really are addicted to coffee or alcohol, or you just need it to relax, you feel like, hey, I'm not alcoholic, I'm not addicted to sugar, but it helps me feel better. There are always signs. First of all, if you can't be happy without them, that's a big sign. Secondly, they have a big sway over your emotion, over whether you're happy or not. Listen, I like watching figure skating. I like watching swimming sometimes. But whether my favorite athlete wins or doesn't, it doesn't make or break my day, okay? I like eating some vegan gummies sometimes, but I'm not going to need them every single day or every single week for me to be happy. And a great sign of when your energy is being like channeled to these pendulums is when you feel like you do need something every day or like regularly, consistently to be happy, and otherwise you will not be happy. One of the easiest ways and fastest ways to have something you love taken away from you is depending on that for happiness. Have you noticed how relationships unfold when one person depends on the other for happiness? That's the same way, except the egregore, the pendulum, this energetic entity, they will use that to their advantage. And now that we're entering a new age in our current reality, you can see this in Pluto and Aquarius and a lot of the energetic changes that have happened cosmically. If you've gotten sick recently in March or in December earlier this year, if you've been experiencing flu-like symptoms, or if your body feels weird, or you have weird dreams, or you wake up feeling maybe a bit tired or different than before, this is a great sign that a lot of the earth is changing, and the modalities for growth and how energy flowed in the world previously for unsustainable, endless growth is just not the answer anymore. So this is why you see that in some businesses that really do well, they actually care about their customers. Some of the businesses that have really good retention rates for employees, they actually consider, would we fulfill and fit what this person in front of us needs to feel good and feel at home, at ease, and fulfilled, basically. Because when it's one-sided, so many problems in this world come from us looking at things one-sided, as in like, I take and don't give you anything. But the thing is, you don't win when you only take and don't give anything back. First of all, you feel ashamed. Second of all, it's unsustainable. Third of all, that is the energy of a parasite. And most people do not want to be a parasite. They want to fulfill their purpose in the world in a healthy way, right? But a lot of the current energy structures or pendulums in this world got to where they are by taking more than they give back. So the next thing is, how do you free yourself from these egregores? How do you free yourself from pendulums that try to take more from you than they give you back? So you protect your energy. So how do you protect your energy? By not caring. Like really not caring. But it's also like not bypassing that some things really are like there, things like racism, war, all of these issues, they exist. We cannot pretend that they don't. But the answer isn't necessarily, in my opinion, to fight straight on and yell and curse at the opposing side, whatever you consider the opposing side to be in your situation. Be the change in the world you wish to see, like embodiment. I really believe the key to getting out of these pendulums is embodiment. So like, what is it that you feel compelled to propagate in this world? Like, what do you find to be valuable, and what do you want more there to be more of in this world? And you become that. And what is stopping you is the energy siphoning that everything you don't want takes away from you. When you can fulfill your purpose, when you've like sent into what you like being and doing, and then you embody that in the world with all of your energy, instead of wasting that energy like fighting something that you don't like, that is one of the solutions, one of the ways that just like step aside. If a pendulum is swinging at you, step to the side. And if you can't avoid it, like, don't suffer more. Don't make yourself suffer more than you have to. And just really embody what is it that you like in this world, instead of like doing this, and wasting all of your energy. Unless if like some people, I do acknowledge their soul's purpose is to be an advocate, is to be a warrior. So what I'm saying here, only take the advice if it makes sense to you, okay? Like, we all have different missions in our lives, right? So that's the second step. Once you've identified, like, what are these organizations, these pendulums, these egregores, which ones are trying to get to me, to access my energy through my emotions, through my time, attention, and resources. Once you recognize that first step, you do the second step, which is to embody what you want instead of like giving your attention and energy to them or letting them feed off of your negative energy as well. So for example, with celebrities, like a lot of celebrities, celebrity culture is a huge egregore that will take your energy, and then they make you feel good temporarily by making you like live vicariously through them. But the thing is, whatever good qualities you see in celebrities, you already have inside of you, and you yourself are a star. Like, I'm saying that so seriously right now. You yourself are a star that's unique in this world, and maybe throwing all of your attention and time to another being is preventing you maybe, or taking away the energy that you could have used to like do a creative project or make a song or whatever your version of a song in the world is. Go sing your song, and don't like watch other people sing their songs and then let yours die inside of you, right? So the third step is, this is where it gets fun. Third step is when you recognize and learn how to avoid the parasitic pendulums or egregores, you can actually ride the wave of positive ones. I love this. So this is my painting easel, okay? This is the painting I'm currently making. I'm cutting out a lot of chocolate wrappers that are really shiny with these little scissors. And I'm putting a lot of flowers on them. So one of my biggest inspirations is nature. Nature, unless if they're flooding your house, which has happened to me. Hi, Hurricane Harvey. But you know what, as a humanity, I get it, Nate. I get it, Mother Earth. Do what you gotta do. I actually put these books on my painting easel to charge it with good energy. So this is the bird feeder handbook, and this is the dried flowers handbook. And a big egregore that feeds my artistic creativity is nature and birds and animals and the earth. Because nature is not, let's say overall nature will give you and recharge you and heal you in ways that man-made things cannot. One of my biggest purposes and missions in life is to create art that emits energy, that can actually heal people and give them more energy instead of just like taking away their attention, right? And a lot of my inspiration comes from nature and comes from jewelry. How precious and how carefully crafted everything is. It's just so beautiful. I mean, when you take a walk in a field of flowers, like the flowers didn't take anything from you. They let you step on them even, and yet, like, not to say that I like people walk over me, just be very clear. But like all of these flowers, the sky, the earth, they give you more energy, right? Than the attention they took from you, right? And a lot of advertisers could learn a thing or two from that, you know, instead of trying to scare people, instead of trying to stroke people's egos or provoke them, saying, hey, are you good enough to buy what we have? Is your body beach ready? Is it bikini ready? And like all of that. I mean, my gosh, be careful, because let your opinions be formed by yourself. I saw this ad recently on Instagram for Facetune that just made me laugh so hard. Because in this ad, the Facetune said, and yes, I am feeding into the egregore of Facetune by making this example, but it's actually giving me more benefit to help give you an example. So it works out, trust me. So this Facetune ad was saying, people say that we're not feminist, but the actual anti-feminists are the people who think that only wealthy guys and girls deserve to have control over their looks. We're the actual feminists, because with our app, you don't need to have thousands of dollars to get surgery. Everyone can look as pretty as they want. And in their mind, that is the truth. Do you see how they're like twisting the narrative to make it work for their advertising campaign? Girl, guy, if you could rewrite your perspective on the world in ways that work for you, the way that Facetune did, oh my God, like they did not address at all, like all of the issues that come up with body image, body dysmorphia, all that. They just like stepped aside and say, hey, we're the real feminists because we can help you control how you look and look pretty without the thousands of dollars in surgery. Do you see how these entities will try to warp the narratives of reality to suit them? So really be discerning of everything you hear. Even what I'm telling you right now, take what works for you and leave the rest, okay? And some other ways to recognize egregores or entities that work in your favor. If you feel more energized from them, let's say, give you this example, going to play sports at a sports club with people you like, in nature, in good weather, and like building your stamina, promoting your health, improving your mental agility, whether it's a tennis club or it's like a swim club or you're going rock climbing, you're getting healthier. You're spending time with people like your friends or family that you care about. And in this sense, they're giving you more energy, or at least as much energy as you give them in the form of money, in the form of your patronage, in the form of the time and attention you dedicate to their organization. That is a very different vibe from paying hundreds of dollars to go see a celebrity or a game where there will be lots of people yelling, screaming, drinking alcohol, and like being so happy when someone scores a goal, and be like absolutely angry and break out into fist fights over their favorite players, or like scream at the referees. That's a very different energy from going to play a sport with your loved ones at a gym or club. Does that make sense? So I'm not going to do a one size fits all. These organizations are good, these organizations are bad, because some organizations that one person hates or can't stand or is like really negative for them could be great for another. And it's something for you to be discerning about. So really feel into this. Like you can do this with your friendships too, and relationships. How do you feel after you've spent time with someone? Do you feel like you have more energy, or do you feel like you have less energy? Because one thing, if you notice about the people who leave you feeling drained, is that they talk about their problems or even talk about good things in their life. Doesn't matter, like neutral things in their life. But the fact that you feel drained is because you were listening but getting nothing in return. Like it changes. Like if you were in a equitable, like harmonious relationship, then it's like a little give and take, and it's like all balanced out and fair, and you feel better afterwards. Like maybe you go shopping together, maybe you visit a museum art exhibition together, you talk about what's going on in your life, she talks or he talks about what's going on in their life, you find some commonalities, learn from their different perspective and like experiences, and maybe that helps you in some way. That is beneficial to you. But if you're spending time with someone who's taking more attention from you and resources from you, then they're like, they care about giving. Maybe God wants you to teach them a lesson in the form of you removing your presence. And it's not like a punishment. It is just a fact of how nature works. You cannot just take constantly, taking other people's money, taking people's time and attention, like giving them nothing valuable in return. And have you noticed that when we take things that we don't feel we deserve, it doesn't even feel good having those things, yeah? And that's a big complex that humanity deals with. So my suggestion here is don't move to a hut in the woods and try to hide from Wi-Fi signals. That's not my vibe. I like my chocolates and I like my jewelry stores, and there's no chocolate and jewelry stores out in the middle of the woods, no matter how beautiful the trees are and the birds are. So the first step, recognize which pendulums, which energy egregores, could be business, school, sports teams, foods, brands, all of these energetic structures, recognize which ones are like not benefiting you. Step 2, don't fight against it. Just go somewhere better. And then how do you recognize the places that are better? You feel more energized when you spend time or invest your resources, whatever, into them, because they will give you as much back, if not more. Things like nature, things like venues where you can exercise and be with friends and family, even like eco-friendly, heart-led businesses that are sustainable and made with integrity. Like, frequent those kinds of businesses, like for your own good. Because some of the businesses that will take more from you than they give you back, it's not helping you. That is like negative consumerism. Just be more conscious about the things you do, okay? That's it for today. I'm sending you much love and positive vibes. And if you feel compelled to like have a conversation with me, you can book that on my website. And you can look at my Instagram, La Princesse des Beaux-Arts, to follow with my life. And I'm sending you lots of love. And have a beautiful life, because you all deserve that very much. Okay? Bye, and I'll speak to you very soon. Take care. Au revoir.